In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I put on 50 pounds of pretty much lean muscle, at least having visible abs, lean bulking 20 pounds per year, and then just regular bulking. Like last 3-4 months, I got to 200 pounds and I was at what, 150 like 2.5 years ago. About that. Pretty crazy actually, because I stayed pretty lean. But I made one mistake, and that one mistake, gotta make sure you don't do it. If I didn't make the mistake, I could have been a little bit more lean. A while ago, I searched up how to put on more muscle, because of course, naturally, I wanted to put on more muscle. And I saw a lot of bodybuilders talking about how they tracked calories, and for me, and like, while that is valid, I thought I didn't really want to do that. So I took a more intuitive approach based on the science that I found while I was researching. So real quick, I'm going to tell you how gaining and losing weight works. Essentially, your whole body runs off of glucose, and especially when you're exercising, you use it in the form of glycogen because that is what your muscles use to use energy. Glucose is used for energy for your entire body. When you have excess fuel, it's actually converted to fat for later usage, and this fat is actually harder to break down. So that's why sometimes you might be struggling when you're on the cut. If you're going through a period where not having as much carbs, after your body uses all of the carbohydrates, the sugars, the glucose that you find, you will end up starting to use the fat, because first, in order of easiness, it would be carbohydrates, sugars, and then it would be fat, and then it would be your muscles. But that would be in terms of extreme starvation, and especially when you don't meet your protein goal, so your body has to replenish itself and fix itself the damage you've done with your workouts and your organs because of your daily need. If you don't get enough protein, then you need to get enough protein, because then you're going to start shrinking. So that's also really important for that. So if you eat less carbs, you're going to have less energy while you're cutting, and if you eat more carbs, you're going to have more energy while you're bulking. So this is why a lot of people see a lot of progress in the gym when they're doing their bulks. So basically, if you have little enough calories from carbs, then your body's going to start using fat. If you have too much fat though, then you're not going to be able to lose weight or lose fat, because what's going to end up happening is that you're using too much, you're eating too much fat, and so you're always going to have extra energy. But if you get that sweet spot where you're eating fat but you're not eating it too much, then you'll be able to maintain, if that makes sense. You're going to be able to lose weight. If you continue to have good protein intake, like a gram per pound of body weight desired, then you shouldn't lose too much muscle while you're cutting. But anyways, if you're trying to bulk, then you'll have more energy in the gym, and then you'll end up being able to push yourself harder, be able to replenish and fix basically all the muscles that you destroy at the gym, and you'll be just gaining mass, and usually it's going to be good healthy mass. Now if you bulk too quickly, a lot of the mass that you're going to gain is actually fat, because muscle, it forms a lot slower than fat. So basically, try to not eat less, because when you eat less and restrict your calories, your metabolism gets slower, because your body's basically telling you, I don't want to die, and I'm gonna make sure that you do not die, because let's make sure that your energy use is more efficient for the amount that we have, because your body thinks that it won't have enough energy. So what a lot of people do is they have refeeding days where they speed up their metabolism by having food randomly every good, like, I don't know, week and a half or something like that. This is not cheat days, but this is just refeeding days. It's in good amount of calories. And also make sure when you're cutting or you're bulking, make sure that 15 to 20% of your total calories are coming from fat. This makes sure that your testosterone levels stay pretty good, relatively good, and actually not bad. I don't know anyone bad, but it makes sure that they stay pretty good. So what did I basically just say? Pretty much, cutting means that you're eating less carbs and you're still having a good amount of fat. I still would eat 6 to 10 eggs when I was cutting down on weight, and so my testosterone didn't go poop. And lean bulking, just make sure your protein targets are hit and you're lifting and you're also doing cardio. Just make sure to do limited carbs. I actually personally, when I was doing lean bulking, I basically just stuck to sweet potato, or I didn't eat carbs altogether. Now, I think sweet potato is really good when you have it in moderation, of course, because it meets a lot of nutrients, gives you a lot of vitamin A and a lot of vitamins that you need for your energy and minerals, all that good stuff for your hormones. And no, when I was lean bulking, I actually also was using creatine. And so what creatine does is that it increases your energy that your muscles can use, because of it increases the efficiency of how your body can create ATP and basically make you be able to have more energy, but it also saturates your muscles a lot, which is a good thing. It's not really a bad thing, and because you end up getting more water in the muscles that you want, so you end up actually looking bigger too. So yeah, creatine would definitely be good on a bulk, because just being on creatine, you can add like 5 to 10 pounds just like that of just water. And it's actually shown long-term usage of creatine can actually make your gains like a fourth quicker, just in some studies it's shown. And for bulking, my approach is basically eat as much protein as possible, definitely meet your maintenance of 1 gram per pound of body weight, and eat whatever carbs you want. No dirty bulking, that means no processed stuff, no seed oils, no soy, no freaking chemical additives, or anything that you feel like you couldn't tangibly picture being in your hand, because that stuff's actually terrible for your long-term health, like absolutely horrible. So why would you do that to your future self? Don't be doing that to your future self. So I had 2 mistakes actually. I only said 1 mistake in the introduction because that was keeping everything simple, and plus the other mistake isn't that bad. But my first mistake was actually I was in that state of not eating very much for a period of the day. Now what one would call what I was doing as kind of like an intermittent fasting type thing. It's not exactly the same, but essentially what would happen was that I would train in the mornings, right? I'd get home, I'd eat, and then hours and hours later, like up to, I don't know, like 12 hours later, I would end up eating my next meal. Now this is not the best idea, because what can end up happening is that if you wait too long in between meals, then your body kind of signals that it's not really the time to build muscle, that we must be conservative with our energy, that we must hold our energy close to us. So you might be able to get more fat in your body because of that, I guess, starvation mode that you put yourself under, plus the extra stress within your body with your hormones like cortisol will go up, and therefore your testosterone might take a little bit tank too. However, there also is studies that say that when you do intermittent fasting, as in especially not eating in the morning when you wake up and then actually having a longer time, you actually increase growth hormone by quite a substantial amount when you sleep. So that's something worth thinking about. If it works for you, then continue to do it. And at the same time, if you want to optimize testosterone, it might be better to put your body through less stress and have 3 meals a day or 4 meals a day, not necessarily the most massive meals per day, so that your body doesn't feel like friggin' bloated and terrible, even though if it might make your strength feel a little bit better. The other thing is that I didn't really have to full on bulk. I could have also just continued lean bulking and not eat as much carbs as possible. Now, I did obviously make more strength gains when I had more energy, and I still stayed pretty lean. So I guess it's not really a full mistake, like I said before, but that's why I said half a mistake. So just make sure to hit your protein goals, and sometimes it can be hard. So what I also did was I had a protein shake if I felt like I didn't have enough protein one day. I recommend diesel because it doesn't have soy. And I also had this kind of 2-plate rule, so I'd always at least have 2 plates. If I had 1 plate, then I'd make sure to eat another one. And yeah, if you weightlift, of course, you're going to put on a lot more mass a lot easier. And the other thing is, I guess you can say with a shake, have liquid calories. It's so much easier to put on liquid calories than it is to eat actually physical food, because it's just easier to go down and put in your stomach pretty much. All right, the last thing I want to leave you with is cardio. If you do high intensity interval training, basically just high intensity cardio really quickly, then you're going to end up being able to stay lean while you're eating a lot and still have more energy while you're bulking. Now, I basically did this, I guess, like the whole time, even while I was doing the bulking, the lean bulking. I was doing Muay Thai, and it's most intense cardio of my life, and I found that I was able to stay pretty lean. So I guess I would weightlift 6 days a week and do Muay Thai 3 to 4 days a week, and that's what worked for me. So that's all I'm going to tell you. Everything you need from me is in the description below, and yeah, nice to see you, bro.